Hey movie junkies, welcome back to another episode of Twin Flicks, where we always here celebrating the magic of movies and most importantly, physical media with you. Now before we begin this comparison review, I have some upcoming reviews that are coming up. First, next week, Rocky, the 4K collection, Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 4 are being released in UHD, and also Training Day is being released on UHD. And I've heard some mixed things already about Training Day. And also, I heard some things about Rocky, where Rocky 2, 3, and 4 are upsamples. The director's cut of Rocky 4 is a new restoration supervised by Stallone, but the 2, 3, and 4 are just upsamples from a 2K scan. So I'm really curious to see how it compares to the previous 2014 Blu-ray. And so keep an eye out for that video and Training Day. But I also have coming up is 4K comparison of War Games that I'm working on right now, a Blu-ray and DVD comparison of Young Sherlock Holmes, and there's a lot to say about this Blu-ray that really upsets me. And to keep up with those 4K comparison videos and more, hit that subscribe button, and also remember to hit that notification bell to be notified when all the new videos drop. But today we're talking about a movie that I've been really excited about ever since it was announced, I believe late last year, that was headed to UHD format. And I ended up getting it extra early. This isn't out until February 28th. Hopefully this video will be out before then. But that is the 1976 classic Marathon Man, directed by the renowned, prolific, one of my favorite directors, Sidney Lumet. Stars Dustin Hoffman, Laurence Olivier, Roy Schneider. I mean, great cast, great director. What could possibly go wrong? Absolutely nothing. This also came out during my favorite decade of film, and that is the 1970s. They weren't afraid to go the extra mile in the 70s and show the violence and the grit and the grime of New York City, especially in New York City. Taxi Driver, Mean Streets, not just Martin Scorsese movies, but a lot of other movies like Taking a Pill on 1, 2, 3. Movies set in New York in the 70s were prime, and I love a lot of movies that were filmed then. Seeing that dark grittiness of the atmosphere of the film that the film takes place in, and it completely goes with the themes of the movies during that time. And of course, this is no exception. Marathon Man is just a classic film. If you haven't seen it, check it out, definitely. Now, back in 2017, Paramount did release it on Blu-ray, but as just a 2K scan. This is a brand new 4K restoration from the original camera negative with HDR and Dolby Vision grading, prepared by Paramount Pictures and released by Kino Lorber. And I also believe it's been reframed to the proper 1:8:5:1 aspect ratio. So let's get into it, compare the differences here, any improvements or benefits from the previous release Blu-ray compared to the 4K UHD, and as usual I have screenshots to compare the differences for yourself. So let's get to it. Now, the 2017 Blu-ray looked really decent. I gave it a good review. But Marathon Man on 4K UHD practically looks like a new release. The rich, clean image captures cinematographers Conrad Hall's enhanced docu-style in a way I've really never seen it before on physical media. It's very eye-catching, such as when Hoffman jogs in Central Park. That steady cam shot, the view takes in a lens flare from the brilliant morning sunrise, and it's just beautifully crafted here and looks fantastic on UHD. And the HDR Dolby Vision grading opens up the color gamut much wider, allowing primary colors to really shine and come to life, while keeping things looking more natural, with richer crimson and cherry reds, yellows ignite, blues and greens are lusher and fuller. Also, since we're in the 70s, there are a lot of browns and earthy tones throughout the film that are also handled much better than the Blu-ray. They look healthier and with better tonal depth. I mean, the entire color palette just really pops and looks truer to life than I've ever seen it before, without betraying any of the original source material. And I didn't notice any kind of color bleeds or crushing that the Blu-ray had. Skin tones also look much healthier and warmer, where the past Blu-ray discs could look too pink or hot or even pale looking. Black levels are another standout, where the Blu-ray had a lot of crushing issues or gray blacks or even skewed towards brownish. than black depending on the scene. Not anymore. The new 4K restoration, HDR Dolby Vision grading, now we have those really deep inky blacks and velvety shadows that we love, and also better shading. The night scenes look excellent with the improved blacks and shadows, drawing out more information in the image, even in the darkest spaces. Also drawing out colors that I've really never noticed before. A great example of this is at the water park when Roy Schneider's meeting with Laurence Olivier. The red lighting underneath the stairway just ignites with electric red light against the black background. Very eye-catching. Whites are also likewise brighter white and crisper, unlike the Blu-ray that had more of a creamy or even yellowish color to the whites. And there's no blooming issues or hot spots to be found, unlike the Blu-ray had. And the details, finer details and texturals are razor sharp without any manipulative sharpness added. We have much cleaner lines now and textures with the New York cityscape with buildings, roads, sidewalks, bricks, showing off all the lines, cracks, and imperfections. 70s New York City comes alive in 2023 with more clarity and visibility from legible signs, storefronts, finer details such as facial close-ups reveals imperfections, pores, facial hair. We also see every bead of sweat on Dustin Hoffman's forehead and face. Interiors are loaded with details in the foreground and background with some nice depth and three-dimensionality to the image. The infamous dentist scene, the room is littered with grime and filth, which is much more visible now in every corner of the room. Grime is fully intact. There's no DNR used here. The image has a very nice layer of grain that is consistent throughout, giving us that nice 70s filmic appearance. Also, that annoying frame judder and tight on optical instability has been worked out with this 4K. The image is now very stable, and there's no speckling issues or edge enhancements to be found, unlike the Blu-ray had. Now, as for the audio, the 4K UHD includes both a DTS 5.1 lossless track and a stereo track that were both on the previous release Blu-ray. And it's the 5.1 track that is the way to go. The soundstage has a very good presence. It's vibrant, yet also nuanced and detailed. From the opening sounds of Hoffman's steady labored breathing on his daily run to the poignant explosions that crop up throughout the film. This track runs the gamut of intensity and passes every test with flying colors. The ambient effects are outstanding, such as the rain. It drifts slightly into the rears, while subtleties such as creaky floorboards add essential atmosphere to many of the scenes, or even the clinking and clanking of a pinball machine and zipper on a body bag are crisp and distinct, as well as gunfire has more heft and weight to it, and the piercing buzzy noise of the dentist's drill just sounds very clear. And I didn't notice a hint of distortion anywhere. And dialogue is clear and distinct without music or sound effects ever drowning out any part of the dialogue. This 5.1 track plays a big role in the full enjoyment of Marathon Man and maximizes every sonic opportunity throughout the film. It's just a great sounding mix. Alright, so my score for Kino Lorber's release, 4K UHD release of Marathon Man, I'm giving the video a 4.5 out of a 5. It's just a stellar looking video presentation, and I'm giving the audio a 5 out of a 5. This is also a likewise resounding audio presentation. Well, now do me a huge favor because I want to hear from you and your opinion. When you look at the differences here between the two formats, the Blu-ray and the new 4K UHD, which do you think looks better? The Blu-ray or the 4K? Let me know over in the comments. So if you have this previously released Blu-ray, do what I'm doing. Get rid of that sucker because that is a dated old Blu-ray and pick up this new 4K UHD. It is terrific. It's a must-have in your collection. And again, it comes out February 28th, 2023. As always, thanks so much for spending a few minutes here with me and with this comparison review. And keep doing your part in keeping physical media alive. And I'll see you next time.